series. Detroit hosting Cleveland. This was something. Very balanced is what I'd like to say about that. 111-101 your final. Cade, 23, 6 and 19 from the field, 7 assists. Tobias with 20 and 8. Donovan finishes with 23 points. James Harden with 22, but it was the Detroit outscoring of Cleveland 18-8 to end the game that was basically the nail in the coffin of that one. It was tied at 93. Jalen Duren scores 3 straight buckets off of Cade assists, so kudos. Then Cade gets a bucket off of a Mitchell free throw, puts him up 7. The duo of Cade and Duren, it got ripped apart a lot in that last round, Chandler, but did you see a little something that might give you some hope moving forward?
Yeah, even in the first round, the offensive struggles from Jalen Duren, it didn't really bother me. Obviously, you want to see this guy be aggressive. You want to see his production, his statistics, continue to rise and get better. And I don't think 9, 10, 11 points a game is enough for a player of his caliber. Right? And even the rebounds, 8, 9 rebounds, I think he's a 15 and 15 at minimum type of guy. Like he should have that type of impact with his physique and his physicality. But yeah, this is going to be their duo for a really long time. And I know there's a lot of chatter. Do we pay this guy a lot of money? He is going to get paid an extraordinary amount of money, and he deserves it. Like, he is one of the best bigs. He is so young. His best basketball is not even close to happening right now. But that's been the concern, right? Like, do they have that second scoring option? I still do think they need to add a piece, an offensive piece, to relieve some pressure, because it's not necessarily Jalen Duren's game. But man, Tobias Harris has been great. Duncan Robinson was great. Jenkins is great. Thompson, like, it's going to have to be a collective effort offensively. But we know where this team's DNA is. We know what what they lay their head on, and that's defense, and that's toughness, and that's going to win a lot of games in the NBA today. So they got Cade Cunningham, one of the best players, one of the best closers in the league. They get one of the best rising big men in Jalen Duren. Yes, do they need a little bit more offensively to have a guy to relieve some pressure and get some, maybe a little less usage out of Cade Cunningham? Sure. But when this team plays like this and they clamp you down and they make the game physical and they hold you to 21 points in the first quarter and get off the starts like they did in this game, it makes the game so much easier for them. So this is one of the best duos, although Jalen Duren's not necessarily a number 2 type scorer. He's definitely their second best player, most valuable player.
What do you think, Lou? Because they're going up against a Mitchell-Harden duo that's obviously a lot more explosive in the scoring department. But last night, they got the win.
Yeah, Duren was just in the right place at the right time, doing what he's supposed to do, right? Like in that first round against Orlando just did a good job and said, you know what, we're going to let Cade Cunningham have these lanes. He's going to have to finish, and we're just going to take everybody else away. So that eliminated a lot of those feeds that, Duren was able to get last night, just being in the dunker, being able to play behind the defense when Cade Cunningham is attacking, and being able to get 3 key baskets that they needed from assists from him just by being in his position. Now that, like you can see right here, just getting behind the defense, knowing that Cleveland has bigs that are willing to help over and try to block shots and try to get stops, running the floor, doing all the small intangible things that he needs to do as a number 2 option type of guy. Like, we know that they're not going to put the ball in his hands to be able to score the basketball, but by him being in the right positions, that's where he's going to be able to eat from. And Cleveland is affording him, those opportunities by the way that they guard. You look at Mobley, he's going to help over. Jared Allen, he's going to help over. And Durant is going to play behind the defense, and he's going to be able to benefit from that. And another guy that I'm sure that we'll talk about is Tobias Harris. Like, we talk about them not having the number 2 guy and not having a score. Give Tobias credit. Game 7 and Game 1, he's been absolutely lights out. He's been the guy that they've needed to bring that scoring punch to the Detroit Pistons to be able to put them in a position that they're in and being the number 1 seed that we thought they always were. I've been teammates with Tobias on a couple of different stops, and my only thing for him as a teammate, I used to tell him, T, sometimes you just get lost in the game of just going with the flow. And that's a great attribute to have as a player, just going with the flow, not forcing any action. But in Detroit, they need him to kind of force the action. They need him to just be more aggressive on the offensive end and go out and attack and just be one of those type of guys on the offensive end that's going to demand the basketball, get 14, 15 attempts up in a game. And that's what he's been able to do in these last couple of games. A pivotal Game 7 7, he was aggressive. He was attacking. He was looking for the basketball. He was putting pressure on the defense. Game 1, he takes that confidence and he applies that to the next game. He has another successful night and 20 points a game. So instead of us talking about them not having a clear-cut number 2 guy, Tobias Harris has stepped up in that gap and he's become that guy. And I think that's why they bring a guy like him to Detroit to be the player that he's been in the last couple of games. Now you need him to bottle that up and be that player and put that type of pressure on the defense throughout the course of, the rest of this series in order for Detroit to be successful, especially with the scoring weapons that Cleveland has.
Yeah, Tobias just has to be a breath of fresh air for JV Biggerstaff, right? Like, how talented Cade is. You know how he's going to get guarded. He's going to get double teamed. He's going to see every possible coverage. Tobias Harris is that vet kind of experienced guy that you can give the ball to in a pick and roll. You can give the ball to 2-man action. You can let him go eat off the block post up. He gets out. He takes good shots. He plays the right way. Like, he is the perfect player to be, the third option, let's say, on this two-headed snake, where the second guy's not really that scoring threat. And this is what makes the Detroit Pistons also unique. Like, look around every team that's left in the playoffs, right? The Cavs, let's say their duos, Harden and Donovan Mitchell. The Lakers, LeBron and Luka or Reeves, however you want to draw it up. The Thunder, they have 12 guys, but Chet and FCA. The Knicks, Cat and Brunson, like Philly, Joel and Tyrese Maxey. So like every team kind of has that 1-2 punch. And that's what makes the Pistons unique, is it's a collective effort. They play a different style. They bring a different kind of physicality to the game. And it can be someone different every single night. It could be Duncan Robinson that throws in 5-6 threes. It could be Jenkins that had such a great streak there during the regular season, has made some big plays last night and in the first series. So Tobias has kind of been that most consistent guy up to this point. But it wouldn't surprise me if it was someone else this series and someone else next series. They are that balanced, and it's more of a team basketball thing than a pecking order when it comes to this team, which is weird because we're so used to these big threes and the trios and the top 2 guys. It doesn't really matter with the Detroit Pistons. They just play their style. They've set a culture and identity, and it works. And clearly they're the number 1 seed all season long, and they play harder than you and they're tougher than you.
I feel like Spurs are like that. It's Wemby and then everybody else.
Yeah, but I like what you said about culture, right? I think Orlando just did a great job of putting Detroit in a position to play uncomfortable, do different things. That's the kind of environment and series that you get when the 2 coaches are the best of friends. I know your philosophy, you know my philosophy. Now in this Cleveland series, I think Detroit is back to their regular schedule program and being a defensive minded team, attacking. They got 30 points off of 20 turnovers last night. That's Detroit Pistons basketball. That's the team that we were used to seeing this year, and we got accustomed to watching them play so much and the style of play, right? And so now when you have Duncan Robinson going 5 for 7 from the 3, when you have Tobias Harris attacking your rim, that makes this team way more dangerous than just putting the ball in Cade Cunningham's hands and hoping he outscores the team. Right. Now we're creating offense off of turnovers, and now we got our other guys that are playing. We got Durant playing behind the defense. You got Tobias tacking downhill, and you got Duncan Robinson at the 3-point line. Thompson, he's doing the dirty work. Thompson is doing the dirty work and doing what you need him to do. That is a great starting lineup. You got Jenkins coming off the bench, shooting the lights out of the basketball and being another offensive threat. Now that you have all of these things opened up, you're starting to see the Detroit brand of basketball that we've grown accustomed to seeing, opposed to that first round where they had to fight for everything they got with Orlando.
Yeah, you know what else I was thinking too? Like, watching this team last night is going to 7 games against Orlando probably did wonders for them. Like, they had so much stress. They've already played in 3 elimination games. So, like, moving forward, they got a reality check real quick that, listen, the regular season doesn't matter. This is a new season. Seeds don't matter. Great. We had a great regular season. We're the number 1 seed. That means nothing to Orlando. That means nothing to Cleveland. And we can be beat if we don't play our style and our brand of basketball. So the fact that they've already had a 7-game series, 3 elimination games, there's no reason for them to feel pressure. There's no reason for them to play tight. Like, they've already been in a high stressful situation, and they know now that they're humbled, they can be beat. And we should see them really, really play their better basketball now in the playoffs. Now they got that kind of out of the way early. I think that does wonders for them.
Also, you got to do it for your coach.
Get interesting. It's gonna
got
get
fired
interesting.
by that team.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
A
No,
lot
there's
of
good
basketball
drama
left.
here. There's good drama. There's
Look,
good
we
petty.
forgot all about that storyline. It's been so many, Bees.
I know, but getting fired by someone and then facing them the following season and potentially beating them and eliminate, it's going to be delicious, kids. Little Donovan Mitchell here because he's a little inconsistent, little inefficient. Free throws are down, although he's attributing that to the fact that he does not flop, which is always fun to talk about. But his points are down. First two games of the playoffs look like he couldn't be stopped. Now everything's sort of slowed down a little bit there, Chandler. And I don't know if that's just simply a scouting report situation. I don't know if that's Donovan Mitchell issue. Like, how do we explain this?
I think it's a little bit of everything. I don't think it's a Donovan Mitchell issue. I think he's an all-world talent. I think he has so many different ways he can score the ball. He just has to take better shots. The way he's getting defended, he kind of forces the issue a little bit. But the way this team